My name is Arthinox, and you're watching the Cloaked Mysteries channel. Here, we explore the darkest and most fascinating secrets in the history of our planet. Today, we're going to talk about a forgotten giant, a colossal creature that even the greatest predator Earth has ever known avoided confronting. Get ready to meet the true tank of the prehistoric world. During the age of the dinosaurs, few names inspired as much terror as the Tyrannosaurus rex. It ruled the plains with massive teeth, crushing strength, and a relentless killer instinct. Fast, brutal, and nearly unstoppable for most prey. But not every animal fled when the king of predators appeared on the horizon. There was one adversary that turned boldness into caution. This giant did not hunt, did not run, and did not roar. Yet it commanded absolute respect simply by existing. Its low, wide body looked like a living wall moving slowly across the land. While other herbivores relied on speed, it relied on endurance. And that choice would completely change the rules of the game. That dinosaur was the Ankylosaurus, a creature that didn't need to win battles. It only needed to make them too dangerous for any predator to attempt. When it appeared, even A.T. Rex had to think twice. And thinking wrong could be fatal. The Ankylosaurus was not built for speed. Its massive body could exceed 30 feet in length. Its weight reached several tons, rivaling even large carnivores. But every pound of that mass served a single-purpose survival. It was a masterpiece of natural engineering. Its back was covered in bony plates known as osteoderms. These structures weren't solid like stone, but hollow and flexible. That combination allowed them to absorb impacts without shattering. They functioned like a prehistoric ballistic vest. Bites that would devastate other herbivores simply failed here. When a predator tried to attack its flank, the force was spread across the entire armor. The damage dissipated before causing fatal fractures. It was like striking armored glass. It cracked, but never gave way. And that made the Ankylosaurus a serious problem. The fossils tell a revealing story. There are no clear records of adult Ankylosaurus killed by T-Rex. Only juveniles whose armor had not yet fully developed. This suggests an invisible hierarchy in the prehistoric world. Not every prey was worth the risk. For a hungry Tyrannosaurus, attacking an Ankylosaurus was a desperate gamble. A single injury could mean a slow death by starvation. Broken teeth, shattered bones, or infection were often fatal. The energy cost simply wasn't worth it. In this case, caution meant survival. The Ankylosaurus didn't need to fight to win. It only had to exist as a constant threat. It reshaped the environment around it. Wherever it stood, the food chain had to adapt. It was balance enforced by resistance. But the true genius of the Ankylosaurus wasn't limited to defense. It swung silently behind its body, lethal and precise. Its tail ended in a massive bony club. Not just a bone, but a perfectly tuned biomechanical system. A weapon forged by millions of years of evolution. Fused vertebrae created a rigid base. Massive osteoderms formed a colossal hammer. Inside, spongy bone combined with dense compact bone. Controlled weight, extreme durability. Every strike was devastating. Studies suggest the force of impact was staggering. Enough energy to shatter thick bones. Possibly even pierce the hide of an adult Tyrannosaurus. A single blow could end any pursuit. One mistake and the hunter became the hunted. The Ankylosaurus could swing its tail in fractions of a second. The speed at the tip of the club exceeded 60 miles per hour. The sound of impact must have been terrifying. A sharp crack followed by destruction. A warning no one ignored twice. Unlike horns or claws, this weapon didn't wear down easily. It grew stronger as the animal aged. Reliable, resilient, always ready. This allowed for a unique combat stance. It didn't stood its ground. When threatened, the Ankylosaurus lowered its body. It reduced its center of gravity and exposed only its armor. At the same time, it prepared its counterattack. Few animals dared to advance at that moment. It was nearly invincible. Despite its warlike appearance, its diet was entirely plant-based. But sustaining 8 tons of body mass was no small task. It had to consume enormous quantities of vegetation every day. Estimates suggest over 200 pounds daily. A true leaf power tractor. Its broad beak sliced low-growing plants with precision. Ferns, cycads, and conifers made up its primary diet. But the real challenge was digestion. It didn't chew like other herbivores. It fermented. Its abdomen housed a massive bacterial fermentation chamber. Microorganisms broke down cellulose over the course of weeks. A slow but extremely efficient process, allowing it to extract nutrients even from the toughest plants. An essential adaptation for that ancient world. The Ankylosaurus did not wander aimlessly through the Cretaceous. It carefully selected environments where its defensive strategy thrived. Fossils indicate a strong preference for floodplains, riverbanks, and wetlands. These areas provided abundant low vegetation and firm ground to support its immense weight. It was in these settings that it reshaped the landscape around it. The regions where Ankylosaurus flourished formed a complex ecological mosaic. Conifer forests blended with vast fields of ferns and cycads. Rivers carved through the land, creating swamps and marshes. This environment favored its wide, low body, allowing movement without major obstacles. Here, it wasn't just a resident, it was a dominant force. Interestingly, these same territories were home to the era's largest predators. The geographic range of Ankylosaurus nearly perfectly overlapped with that of large theropods. This reveals a constant coexistence between predator and prey, but not one based on relentless pursuit. It was a balance maintained through fear and caution. The Ankylosaurus didn't need to patrol or actively defend territory. Its mere presence altered carnivore behavior. Where it stood, the risk of serious injury skyrocketed. Predators quickly learned to recognize that danger, and over time, they avoided unnecessary confrontations. This relationship deeply shaped the ecosystem. Other herbivores became preferred targets simply because they were more vulnerable. Meanwhile, the Ankylosaurus followed its slow, steady routine. It didn't compete through speed or aggression. Its dominance came from being nearly impossible to remove. Thus, this armored dinosaur did more than survive its environment. It shaped predator-prey dynamics around it. It created natural exclusion zones. It turned entire landscapes into respected territory. A true lord of resilience. Despite all its evolutionary efficiency, the Ankylosaurus faced an enemy it could not fight. No teeth, claws, or strength could withstand global collapse. The event that marked the end of the Cretaceous reshaped the planet on every level. Entire ecosystems vanished within months, and no armor could protect against that. The impact triggered continent-wide wildfires. Forests were vaporized or consumed by flames. Dust thrown into the atmosphere blocked sunlight for years. Photosynthesis collapsed, and the foundation of the food chain disappeared. For an animal like the Ankylosaurus, this was catastrophic. Its slow metabolism required a constant supply of food. Its enormous mass demanded vast amounts of vegetation daily. But now, every green leaf became precious. What was once an advantage turned into a death sentence. Another factor worsened its fate: reproduction. The fossil record suggests a low reproductive rate. Few juveniles survived long enough. In a collapsing world, this drastically reduced recovery chances. The species couldn't adapt fast enough. The Ankylosaurus was not defeated by predators. It didn't fall to ambushes or epic battles. It was defeated by sudden planetary change. By a world that no longer supported the conditions that shaped it. Thus ended the story of one of prehistory's greatest symbols of resilience. The Ankylosaurus represents far more than a dinosaur covered in armor plates. It is the ultimate embodiment of defensive evolution, a creature that survived alongside the most fearsome predators in Earth's history, without needing to run, hunt, or strike first, simply by enduring. Its existence challenges the idea that only the most aggressive dominate. It proved that impenetrability can rival ferocity, that true strength isn't always found in attack, but in the ability to withstand impact, failure, and constant threat, and still persist. The absence of adult fossils showing clear predation marks speaks volumes. It ruled its ecological niche through sheer unkillability. It didn't need to be fast. It didn't need to be clever. It only needed to be resilient. That is the true greatness of the Ankylosaurus. Not in size or brute force, but in the perfect combination of adaptations that made it an absolute challenge. An obstacle even the greatest predator avoided. A silent reminder of the power of endurance. In nature, the winner isn't always the one who attacks. Sometimes, it's the one who withstands. And in that regard, few were as relentless as this ancient giant. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Ankylosaurus was the greatest achievement of defensive evolution in history? Or is there another dinosaur you believe could face a T-Rex on equal footing? Leave your opinion in the comments, I read them all. If this video kept you watching until now, leave a like to support the channel. And subscribe to Cloaked Mysteries so you don't miss future episodes. Here, every video uncovers another secret buried in time. And if you want to go further, click the join button below. You'll help keep the channel alive and gain exclusive benefits for less than the price of a snack. Join the community that explores the hidden side of natural history. Mysteries, forgotten giants, and truths few ever tell. See you in the next episode. Take care and until next time.